Ricky Cruz gets the opportunity to regain the Classic Championship on SICW Wrestling Explosion today. Hello, I'm Larry Matisick. Iron Man Ken Kasa is the star who dethroned Cruz, but under conditions that definitely were controversial. Travis Cook, Kasa's manager, played no small part, putting Kasa in position for the victory. Now Cruz, who absolutely loved being the title holder, can get the crown back. Furthermore, we have tag team action as the St. Louis Classic, so stick around. It's Cruz versus Kasa right after these messages. Once more, the exciting 2013 season proved that the Gateway Grizzlies are an important part of the St. Louis and Metro East sports scene. Every game is fun for fans of all ages, hustling and hard-hitting. The Grizzlies always provide plenty of bang for the buck. In addition, the GCS ballpark is the perfect place to enjoy baseball. The organization, the facility, part of our community. Baseball is America's game, and the Gateway Grizzlies do it right. Keep in touch with new developments. Go to gatewaygrizzlies.com.
Unique and affordable gifts and collectibles on the internet are available at the Black Bear Haversack Trading Post. Go to blackbearhaversack.com. Semi-precious stones, bone horn and soapstone items, abalone shells, genuine coyote and water buffalo teeth pendants, products for Civil War, medieval, and Renaissance reenactments, and so much more. For a 10% discount, mention SICW number 7 when you place your order. It's blackbearhaversack.com for top quality at reduced prices.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, WWE Superstar, will be at the East Carondelet Community Center for SICW Wrestling next Saturday, October 19th. And this is the mind-boggling main event. Ron Powers teams with Ricky Cruz. That's right, Powers and Cruz to battle Classic Champion Iron Man Ken Kasa and Flash Flanagan. It's Powers and Cruz versus Kasa and Flanagan. For tickets, call 286-4848. Meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan in East Carondelet next Saturday, October 19th, when Powers and Cruz oppose Kasa and Flanagan.
Introducing first, the challenger this evening, standing to my right, from Guayana, Puerto Rico, 273 pounds, he is the former Classic Champion, Ricky Cruz.
Hey pal, Cruz loses every time he wrestles Ken Kasa, alright? Now, Ricky Cruz wait for 6 months for a rematch the way that he did to us, because the Travis Cook organization are gentlemen, sportsmen, and a credit to this industry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the reigning and defending champion. He is seconded this evening by his training partner, Mr. Unpredictable, Dave Vaughn. He is also accompanied by the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Travis Cook Organization, Mr. Travis Cook. And Mr. Cook represents wrestling out of the Windy City of Chicago, Illinois, weighing in this evening at a slim, trim, buff, chiseled, ripped, bolo, 236 3/4 pounds, Iron Man, Casa!
Travis Cook has done the honors, and Ricky Cruz has something to say. Now, wait a minute. He can't help but pick on Travis Cook. They've had their run-ins, and Ricky Cruz has that great sense of humor, which really has been rubbed pretty raw by Ken Kasa and Travis Cook, and for that matter, Dave Vaughn at different points in time. Okay, it's Kasa defending the title against the man he dethroned, Ricky Cruz. That match ended when Kasa caught Cruz in that Iron Maiden torture lock. But of course, it all came in the second match of the evening for Ricky Cruz. He'd earlier wrestled Ron Powers and had won by disqualification. But of course, at the end of that match, Ron Powers hit Ricky Cruz with a pile driver. So Powers had really injured Cruz's neck and made it easy pickings for Ken Kasa when he put that Iron Maiden torture lock on. And Ricky Cruz, he suckered in Ken Kasa hits him with a blow and knocks him right over the top rope and almost into the lap of Travis Cook. And outside the ring goes Ricky Cruz. He's looking for what? He's sitting him in the front row and gives Cruz a chop. And look at the fans backing off saying, wow, that did hurt, didn't it? Yeah, folks, it sure did. When a 273-pound man slashes away at the chest of his opponent, it hurts. It stings. It knocks the wind out of people. Look at the red chest of Ken Kasa after that blow. And then Kasa, after a headbutt from Cruz, falls face first on the floor, the cement floor here in the East Carondelet Community Center. Ken Kasa lifted up by Ricky Cruz. A punch into the stomach. A slam into the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, because obviously that's the support part. That's where most of the wood is, where most of the steel is. That's where it hurts if you get bounced on that, as Ken Kasa just was by the former classic champion Ricky Cruz. And then a slash again to the chest of Ken Kasa. And Kasa's, oh my, my, my. He's whipped across into the corner, comes charging in and catches a boot just to the chin. Ken Kasa always alert, but then he's not alert enough to avoid that power slam from Ricky Cruz. Maybe Cruz suckered Ken Kasa in. He tries for a pin, knowing full well he's probably not going to get it. But that's just something a good wrestler does. You always go down there and try. You always try. You never know. Ricky Cruz, who actually has a very, very much varied background in the martial arts. He started doing that when he was like 9 or 10 years old in Puerto Rico. And in fact, at one time, won several national titles in Puerto Rico for different things in the martial arts. Casa comes charging through trying to catch a shoulder into Cruz's stomach, but that didn't work. And then, a sort of DDT on Casa, and he catches it again on the apron. And Kasa says, oh my, he's seeing stars. And Travis Cook says, I got to find somewhere to go. I think I'm going to scoot across this ring and get away from Ricky Cruz. We already know what happens between those two. Remember when Ricky Cruz took a hubcap and delivered it to the head of Travis Cook? And you can also see what happened when Ken Kasa delivered a big elbow smash to the head of Ricky Cruz. Cruz went down and went down hard on the floor on top of a steel chair. Ken Kasa trying to get some rhythm into his match. I think that's something that Ken Kasa does well with, when he gets a rhythm going, when he can get some movement going. He has many different holds that he uses. Some old school, some new school that have kind of been taken in twists and turns from the old school. And when Ken can get into a rhythm, he's a much more effective wrestler than when he has to find a way to keep the offense going. And Ricky Cruz, of course, is a master at upsetting the rhythm of any opponent. He's smart, he's clever, he knows how to really play the psychological game in the ring. And of course, right now, it was Dave Vaughn playing some psychology called strangling, as he strangled Ricky Cruz over the second rope, while Ken Kasa argued with the referee. And Jim Harris, the official, he's upset with Dave Vaughn. He says, you'll get thrown out of here if you're doing something wrong and I catch you. Body slam by Ken Kasa. Kasa kicking the arms to the side, hitting the ropes, up into the air, big knee drop, and it's right up into the, really more into the pectoral muscles, up in the front there somewhere, really not in the shoulder, almost right onto the sternum. Here he comes again, looking for another knee drop. Bang! He drives it home. And Cruz is hurting. Those are legal. Nothing wrong with those. Ken Kasa pulls the knee pads back up again. He pulled them down so that when he delivered the knee drops, it went in right with the hard bone right into the chest of Ricky Cruz. Cruz still gasping for wind, and that's not helping as Kasa strangles him on the second rope. And then a boot from outside the ring by Dave Vaughn as soon as the referee turns his back. This is a tough situation for Ricky Cruz. You have Vaughn there. You have Travis Cook there. And so far, Travis is actually relatively behaving himself. Boy, there's a scary thought, huh? Kasa up on top of Cruz and stomping away. Now puts that boot against the throat of Ricky Cruz. And this is the pace that Ken Kasa likes to get. Now Travis Cook, we shouldn't have talked about it. We woke the devil. He came over and he grabbed the throat of Ricky Cruz. Kasa taking his time, moving in slowly on Cruz. Whoop. A punch to the stomach by Cruz. Cruz trying to fight back quickly, but it's not working. Casa pitches Cruz outside the ring, again creating a situation where he can argue with the referee, and Dave Vaughn can strangle Ricky Cruz. The referee turns, doesn't see a thing wrong, but he warns him, get over there. Well, they've already done their damage, at least Dave Vaughn has. Casa comes off the apron with a stomp into the chest of Ricky Cruz. Ken Casa, the Iron Man. A cardiovascular wonder. He's got a lot of stamina. He can go forever. Some night we're going to end up seeing him go a 1 hour match if he's pushed to it. You never know. Those things happen. You notice it does say 1 fall, 1 hour. Things can happen. And a draw is as good as a win as far as the champion's concerned. As long as the champion leaves the building with the title belt, that's what it's all about for the champion. He wants that title belt in his hands when he leaves the building. And however it happens, is certainly when you're a client of Travis Cook, however that happens is satisfactory. It means you're going to be back in the main event the next time and somebody else comes after you for the title. And there are plenty of people who want that title. There's a Flash Flanagan. There's a Ron Powers. There's a Heath Hatton. Maybe Jake Durden is building that way. You never know. How about the old school warrior Chaz Wesson? Casa, very limber, puts that boot again up against the throat of Ricky Cruz. Ken Casa, making life miserable for Ricky Cruz. So far, it's been pretty much Ken Casa. It took him a little bit to get his rhythm going, to get his mojo, as they say, and now he's done it. He hits the side. Oh, that double knee drop into the shoulder blades. Don't often see that. Don't ever see that except from Casa. And that's a stunner. That one hurts. First, the knee drops to the chest, then those knees driven into the back. Ken Casa, he's putting some bruises on Ricky Cruz, the former champion. He knows he needs to get something going. He needs to fight back, needs to take the offensive away from Ken Casa, but he hasn't been able to do it yet. Right, here's your champ, says Ken Casa. Said that just for Grant Murphy, our cameraman, and he zoomed right in. Took a look at the fillings in Ken Casa's mouth. Nice shot, Grant. Ken Casa pulling back Ricky Cruz, and then goes for that skull crusher. The skull crusher, kind of a cousin of the old Iron Claw that Fritz and David and Kevin Von Erich used to use. Look how he's pushing against the temples of Ricky Cruz, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Look at the muscles bulging in Ken Casa's arm because he's pushing so hard against the skull of Ricky Cruz. It's something different, something not too many people do. Cruz pulling the arms away. He breaks the skull crusher. Oh, and they both try to throw kicks at the same time. How about that? They both went for kicks at the same time. They both scored, and they're both down. The referee going for a 10 count now. If they're both down at 10, the match would be ruled a draw, which of course means Casa's still the champion. So Casa wouldn't be totally unhappy, but Ricky Cruz getting the adrenaline flowing a little bit. The crowd beginning to yell at him, say, come on, Ricky, come on, Ricky. Casa's up 2. He charges in, but oh, Cruz was waiting, and now Ricky Cruz has the offense. Ricky Cruz with a chop to the throat. Another clothesline by Ricky Cruz. Up and over the top goes Ken Casa, the Iron Man, going flying. Compliments of Ricky Cruz, the farmer, and perhaps future classic wrestling champion. Oh, Casa with an eye gouge. He popped that thumb right into the eye of Ricky Cruz. And Ricky Cruz planted that boot right in the eye of Ken Casa, then drops him backwards instead of a Greco-Roman back body drop. I guess it was a Greco-Roman back body drop on the turnbuckle and on the top rope. And that one stunned Casa. It wasn't something he was expecting, and I think it really knocked the wind out of Ken Casa. Something different from Ricky Cruz. And now he waits for Casa to find his bearings and come back to his feet. Misses a kick. Oh, hey, the super kick by Ken Casa. Ken Casa just used Ricky Cruz's favorite weapon on Ricky Cruz, and Cruz was nearly pinned after Casa scored with a super kick on Ricky Cruz. Can you believe that? Obviously something that Casa had been training for, developing with a super kick on Ricky Cruz. It's getting hot inside that building. Travis Cook can't take it. Off comes the sport coat. Oh my goodness, he thought that would be enough to finish Ricky Cruz. Double drop kick by Ricky Cruz. The double barrel drop kick, the same thing that Ken Casa uses. Obviously, Casa has had one of his weapons stolen from him by Ricky Cruz. Each man using the other's finishing maneuver to try to get a pin as they battle for the Classic Wrestling Championship. Cruz pushes Casa in the corner. Huge chop to the chest. Oh, you could hear the wind just come out of Ken Casa like a balloon being punctured. Reverse whip by Casa. Cruz goes, oh, a kick into the groin, right into the groin, and referee Jim Harris, without question, calling for a disqualification. Yes, sir, a kick to the groin, and we know what that rule means here. An automatic disqualification. But Casa and Vaughn, I think Casa knew he was in trouble after some of the things that had happened, especially after Casa had that double barrel drop kick, and Ken Casa was not going to take any other chances. Oh, Cruz, oh, he goes behind. He pushes Casa into Vaughn. Vaughn is knocked out of the ring. Ricky Cruz fighting back. Travis Cook up on the apron, and he's knocked off the ring by Ricky Cruz. And here's Flash Flanagan. Flash Flanagan. Flanagan into the ring. He wants a title shot. Well, here's one way to get it. Beat up Ricky Cruz. He's not helping Ken Casa so much as he's helping himself. Flash Flanagan into the ring. And here comes Ron Powers. Here comes Ron Powers. Remember the chair swinging duel from a week ago? Powers and Flash Flanagan. And Ricky Cruz trying to regain his bearings as Ron Powers cleans the deck. He's not in there trying to help Ricky Cruz as much as he's after Flash Flanagan. Oh, we have a lot of agendas in this ring right now. Powers wailing away on Flash Flanagan. He whips Flanagan head on into Casa. Casa goes to the apron over the top rope. Compliments of Ricky Cruz. Flanagan daring to get back in the ring. He can't do it. Uh-oh. Powers and Cruz, mortal enemies, just realize what they've done. Oh my goodness. Ron Powers came out because he was not going to let Flash Flanagan run roughshod over anybody. Flanagan came out not because he was trying to help Ken Casa. He was going to beat up Ricky Cruz. And now all of a sudden, now wait a minute. Referee Jim Harris, not quite sure. We know what's happened between these men. The blood, the bruises, the hard feelings, the bruised egos, the injuries. And now here was a situation where really Ron Powers helped Ricky Cruz. Whoa. Let's keep peace, says Jim Harris. No handshakes here, but we know what happened. We saw it. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, WWE Superstar, will be at the East Carondelet Community Center for SICW Wrestling next Saturday, October 19th. And this is the mind-boggling main event. Ron Powers teams with Ricky Cruz. That's right, Powers and Cruz to battle Classic Champion Iron Man Ken Casa and Flash Flanagan. It's Powers and Cruz versus Casa and Flanagan. For tickets, call 286-4848. Meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan in East Carondelet next Saturday, October 19th, when Powers and Cruz oppose Casa and Flanagan.
For the best deal on pre-owned cars and trucks, check out King Auto Sales in Cahokia, Illinois. Buy here, pay here. It doesn't get easier than that. Easy terms and financing on the spot for the best deals on all makes and models of pre-owned cars and trucks. You can't beat King Auto Sales, 2915 Camp Jackson Road, Cahokia, Illinois. That's King Auto Sales in Cahokia, where the customer comes first. Phone 337-7050.
Let Custom Truck Upholstery give your vehicle a facelift. Visit us on 707 North 20th Street in East St. Louis, Illinois. Custom Truck Upholstery merges old world craftsmanship and attention to detail with the latest in modern technology to make your car, truck, boat, or motorcycle look like new. Call Custom Truck Upholstery at 618-875-9850.
Orton sees that rib open. Randy Orton gets lots of attention today in WWE, and his dad, Cowboy Bob Orton, was also no stranger to the spotlight. From Wrestling at the Chase on December 26, 1982, this is Bulldog Bob Brown and Tom Andrews against Bobby Duncum and Cowboy Bob Orton.
Orton hits the second rope. Cowboy Orton comes flying off with that forearm. Then Orton goes after Brown. Cowboy Bob Orton pounding on the Bulldog and knocks him out of the ring. Orton, he's a little hot at Bulldog Brown. He goes outside. Look out! We've got microphones. Well, Brown started out with the rough stuff, pounding on Cowboy Orton, and when Orton found a chance to get even, he did just that. Believe me, Brown's still down outside the floor, on the floor after he was slammed into the press table and then battered over the head by that steel pitcher. Brown still trying to regain his bearings. Andrews caught in the ring against Orton and Duncum. Cowboy Bob Orton showing that he has a temper, and if the going gets rough, Orton knows how to get going. Brown's still outside the ring holding his head. He was really clobbered by Orton after Orton delivered a tremendously impressive backbreaker to Tom Andrews. Well, now, do you think Orton's going to back down from the bruiser of Brown? I guess we just found out the answer. Bulldog still doubled up. Here comes Orton outside the ring on Brown again. Brown knocked down by Cowboy Orton out here on the floor. If we can get a look at it, outside on the floor, Orton battering Brown. Orton strangling Brown out on the floor. Referee Chuck Riley trying to come and pull Orton off of Brown. Orton stomping on Brown's head outside the ring. And I'll tell you something, Cowboy Bob Orton twice now has caught Brown and really rocked Brown. Brown down on his knees, and I'm sure that Cowboy Bob Orton has made an impression on Mr. Brown. Bobby Duncum pounds on Andrews. Duncum stomping on Andrews. Andrews has been trapped in there all by himself this entire period. Orton coming off the second rope with a forearm smash on Andrews. And Cowboy Bob Orton making his presence known with a vicious attack on Brown. And now on Tom Andrews. Here comes Brown up behind Orton. Tag made to Duncum. Orton and Duncum tagging effectively.
Five minutes left. 5 minutes.
5 minutes remaining. Curfew. Andrews with a kick to Duncum, and here comes the Bulldog. Duncum being bitten by Brown. Duncum and Orton. Duncum grabbed by Brown again. Brown rams the heads of Orton and Duncum together. Everybody standing, and we have a Donnybrook. Bulldog Bob Brown pounding on Duncum. Orton up on the top rope. Brown grabs him. Oh, he punched. Oh, Orton dropped right onto the buckle after he was clobbered by Brown. Oh, Orton will have some of the steam out of his sails after that. Oh, my goodness. Cowboy Bob Orton knocked off the buckles by Brown, but in doing that, Brown got himself into trouble against Duncum. Tag made to Orton. And Orton has guts. He's back up on the second rope again, coming down with an elbow to the back of Brown. Orton lifts Brown. Atomic knee drop by Cowboy Orton on Bulldog Brown. Orton covers Brown. Count of one. Orton thrown off by Brown. Orton going for the suplex on the Bulldog. Brown blocks it. Brown takes Orton up. Suplex by Brown on Orton. Here comes Duncum. Duncum yanks Brown off. Andrews slams Orton into the corner.
3 minutes left. 3 minutes.
Bob Orton taking his lumps at the hands of Tom Andrews. It's most falls to curfew. No falls yet. Here comes Duncum into the ring, and Orton had enough presence of mind to hang on to Andrews. And now it's amazing that Orton can do anything after what happened to him. Andrews pounds Duncum into the corner. Whoops. Duncum into the corner. Andrews charges and misses. Duncum sidesteps as Andrews came charging in. Bobby Duncum whips Andrews to the rope. Catches him coming off with a flying elbow smash. Duncum, big knee drop into the chest. Orton yells, "Give him to me, give him to me." Duncum tags Orton, and Cowboy Bob Orton goes into that ring, uppercut to the jaw on Andrews. Orton grabs Andrews, lifts him to the air. Oh, he's dropping him on that top rope. He's trying to set Andrews up for that super suplex. that Orton uses. Andrews, look at this. Orton up on the ropes. It's legal as far as I can see it. Andrews comes off. Oh, a tremendous suplex by Cowboy Bob Orton. And Orton has the first fall over Tom Andrews. And I think we're going to have the curfew eaten up by the remainder of the time. Yes, we do. So that's it. That's going to be the only fall that fits in the curfew.
From the World Series champion Tigers in '45 to the Gateway Grizzlies to the '03 State Tournament Belleville East Lancers. A tradition in baseball and an even longer tradition in fine furniture and service. Miller Furniture, 1004 East Main in Belleville.
For music and fun, the place to party is Pop's nightclub and concert venue in Sojay. From Bruno Mars of the first U.S. tour of Nickelback to Flogging Molly or the Insane Clown Posse, 30 years of memories pack Pop's concert venue with more made at every news show. And there's a party at Pop's nightclub every night, a melting pot of friends enjoy the best in dance, rock, pop, and top 40 music until 5:30 a.m. Plus add a full game room. Check out all the action at popsrocks.com. Then and now, the place to party is Pop's in Sojay. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, WWE Superstar, will be at the East Carondelet Community Center for SICW Wrestling next Saturday, October 19th. And this is the mind-boggling main event. Ron Powers teams with Ricky Cruz, that's right, Powers and Cruz, to battle Classic Champion Iron Man Ken Kasa and Flash Flanagan. It's Powers and Cruz versus Kasa and Flanagan. For tickets, call 286-4848. Meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan in East Carondelet next Saturday, October 19th, when Powers and Cruz oppose Kasa and Flanagan. Well, there are the bizarre circumstances that led to the main event in East Carondelet next Saturday, October 19th. Ricky Cruz and Ron Powers against Flash Flanagan and Classic Champion Iron Man Ken Kasa. There's no guarantee that either team will get along with each other, not even considering the stakes for both combinations. Literally, anything can happen next Saturday in East Carondelet. Add to the excitement, Hacksaw Jim Duggan will be there to meet the fans. What a night is on tap next Saturday, October 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 10 minutes and 50 seconds, Ken Casa has been disqualified. The winner of this match is Ricky Cruz. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, due to the fact that it was a disqualification, Ken Casa remains your Classic Wrestling Champion.